What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Phantom of the Opera, and more from the 1987 soundtrack of the 1986 original stage run by Andrew Lloyd Webber, and we're going to listen to Think of Me, which I believe is one of the more famous arias in the work overall. I wanted to give a special shout out to Darren. He's a big fan of Phantom of the Opera and knows a lot about it, so no doubt he will have something to comment on here. But yes, to the best of my recollection, this is one that features a bit of, I guess you would call it recitative, meaning lines that are delivered more or less in spoken form, perhaps with a little bit of rhythm and melody like singing, but less overtly sung than other lines, and there's certainly a bit of a scene suggested. I think this is the song where, at the beginning, the character, is it Elisa, is being played by Carlotta, the sort of diva-esque main female singer of this opera house. But during a rehearsal, I think, of the song Think of Me, part of the stage comes crashing down, it almost hits her, and she gets very fed up and frustrated because apparently it's something that's happened before, and she sort of marches off the production and refuses to play the role anymore. And initially, I think the stage managers or the producers or directors of the opera house are going to cancel the production of this musical or this opera that they're going to do, but one of the ballerinas, I think, suggests Christine Daae to sing it because they know she has a great voice, and so she sort of tentatively begins to sing it and does a really incredible job, even better than Carlotta. And this, I think, is all part of the machinations, or maybe it's not, maybe it's before, maybe this is the first time Eric, the Phantom, hears Christine sing, which then sets up everything that comes after in the story. And I think Raoul is there watching and is very impressed with her voice. I think they're like childhood friends. And so it's a really pivotal moment in the larger story. And again, we hear more than just the song itself. And again, as with a lot of this musical, there's a bit of meta-reality, right? Because it's like a musical about staging an opera, and so there's like music that we're hearing which is supposed to be in the opera in the story, and then songs that are sung as part of the musical that we, the audience, are watching and listening to. And in this case, I think it's a bit of both, because it's supposed to be a song in the story, or in the opera, sung by Elise or Elisa, but then we hear it as part of this larger story that is unfolding as the Phantom of the Opera. So let's give it a listen. I believe the character of Christine in the original run is played by Sarah Brightman, a singer who, has known through a number of things beyond just this performance, but I do think this is one of her calling cards, if you will. So let's give it a listen. This is from Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera, the 1987 soundtrack, Think of Me, and as I said, I believe the lead voice here is done by Sarah Brightman.
Think of me fondly.
Not yet.
When we said goodbye, remember me once in a while. Please promise me you'll try. When you find that once again you long to take the Phantom of the Opera. He's here. The Phantom.
Show a little courtesy. Mademoiselle, please. These things do happen.
See, these things do happen. Well, until you stop these things happening, this thing does not happen.
Christine Daae could sing it, sir.
The chorus girl?
Let her sing for you, monsieur. She has been well taught.
Think of me fondly when we've said goodbye. Remember me once in a while. Please promise me you'll try. When you find that once again you long to take your heart back and be free, if you ever find a moment, spare a thought for me. We never said our love was evergreen or as unchanging as the sea. But if you can still remember, stop and think of me. Think of the things we've shared and seen. Don't think about the things which might have been. Think of me waking silent and resigned. Imagine me trying too hard to put you from my mind. Recall those days, look back on all those times. Think of the things we'll never do. There will never be a day when I won't think of you.
Can it be Christine? Bravo! What a change, you're really not a bit the gawkish girl that once you were.
Gawkish?
She may not remember me, but I remember.
We never said our love was evergreen or as unchanging as the sea. But please promise me that sometimes you will think.
How can humans sing like that? It's incredible. So, a number of things to say. Again, like in this particular track, in the soundtrack, and obviously in the scene in the musical, we're getting a mixture of lines sung for the song in the opera, and then songs, or part of the song is in the larger reality of Phantom of the Opera. And the way Raoul was singing, like, wait, is that really the Christine Daae I knew? Like, wow, this sort of awkward, I think gawkish is the word, girl I knew has like transformed into this, and she has such elegance and beauty in her performance. And it sounds like there's maybe a time transition, meaning I do think when Carlotta walks off the stage, it's in a rehearsal, but then we hear an audience applause and appreciation later, so maybe it sort of like jumps ahead to the actual performance. Maybe Carlotta walked off during the actual performance, I'm not sure. But either way, I have to give credit to the singer who performs Carlotta, because, you know, she delivers her lines in a way that's meant to be a bit over the top, like a bit garish, a bit overwrought, and a bit like screeching in those like higher moments where it's like she's essentially singing badly, quote unquote, on purpose. Now, it still sounds fine, but it's meant to give us a contrast, right? It's meant to say, like, okay, like, that was fine, but, like, you know, a bit intense, a bit showy, if you will. And then when Christine sings it, there's a more natural feel and, you know, an elegance to those higher moments, even if they still are a bit sonically intense. And so I think it's a testament to the performance of the singer doing the Carlotta role, where it allows us to appreciate more Christine Daae's rendition of it in the latter, or the remaining part of the tune here. So, yeah, and of course the lines of the song itself, they're specific to the opera they're putting on. This idea that now that we're far away and, you know, maybe things didn't turn out the way they could have before, but I hope you still think of me. I hope there's still a moment where, you know, you look back and your heart can remember me because I think about you every day. So there's like this, you know, time lapse and emotional, you know, reaching out across the years and across geographical distance. And then for Raoul specifically, that has an immediate relevance. So like, oh, I used to know her, and maybe I wasn't thinking about her before, but I'm thinking about her now, and maybe she still remembered me. So there's not just in terms of the musical performance having a couple different layers here, the lyrics have a couple different layers as well. So I think it's really well done. And Brightman's performance, especially at the end, when there's those melismatic moments where she's jumping around on the same line with no accompaniment whatsoever, and then that leads into this big grand finale where she really goes up into the stratosphere, is incredible. So a testament to the composition of the musical overall, shout out to Andrew Lloyd Webber, but also again to the performances that we hear here and what they mean in both the narrative context and the meta performance of it all. I think it's great. So let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.